ratchet and cute. She a winner, that's true. She don't even take L's, eating alphabet soup. Mayday, mayhem, 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 mayday, mayhem. She a cool black nerd, always been smart. Ever since she turned 8, wanted her name in the charts. Monty Python was a shit, Richard Pryor made a start. Red Fox and Eddie Murphy, inspiration to her art. Who you know got banned from the dollar store for throwing canned goods at a baby father though. She a good mother though. She ain't worried about laughs cause she gon' get a lot of those. Showtime at the Apollo dope. And she paint the perfect picture telling stories up in all the jokes. You don't really want the drama, bro. Cause Mabel cool, Mayday nice, Mayday want all the smoke. Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem.
And welcome to another episode of the Mayday Mayhaim podcast. I am your host, Mayday Mayhaim. And today, as you can see probably in a banner that will start streaming now, we're talking about Chicago and the total downfall of Chicago. And again, I am from Chicago. And Chicago is such a beautiful city. It is. It is really such a beautiful city. The skyline is beautiful, especially at night. In the daytime is even more gorgeous because you have the sun that's the sun that's beaming off of the towers and the beautiful buildings, and you have see where I'm from, it's still the Sears Tower, but for reference purposes, what is called now the Willis Tower. You can see the light streaming off of there, and it's so beautiful in the daytime, and the sun sets and the sun rises. It's very beautiful. However, excuse me again, Chicago is being plagued by crime, and what I have seen and heard others say, an incompetent mayor, allegedly. But we're going to talk about that today, right here on the Mayday Mayhaim podcast. And again, I want to thank you for listening, and please like, share, and subscribe. I'm very appreciative of you listening today and joining me for this podcast. But yeah, we about to get into it real quick. I know this probably won't be monetized on YouTube. A lot of my stuff is not. But it's totally fine. I'm okay with it. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, my IG is Mayday_Mayhaim. Or you can also follow me on my Facebook page, which is also Mayday Mayhaim, where I also post this content and other content. And of course, my website, www.maydaymayhaim.com, where I talk about cannabis products, and I also talk about makeup and also budgeted things that you can buy that are what I call beauty on a budget. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to spend millions and trillions of your hard-earned money, because our eggs is like $15 for 30 eggs, or $6 for 18 eggs. I even saw in the grocery store $5 for a dozen of eggs. So when we're having to spend money on food and necessities like our mortgages, our rent, our light, our gas, things for ourselves, and those of us that have children, we can't afford Gucci, Prada, Larada, Capata, whatever it is, we can't afford it. We just can't. So I talk about things that you could buy friendly on the budget. So that's that. Now let's get into Mr. Brandon Johnson. Now, excuse me, if you don't know, Brandon Johnson just renovated his wife's um office, as you say, and he spent $80,000 to get his wife's office renovated. And let's not to mention the $30,000 that he spends on his makeup and haircuts that he's been in office this short period of time. Whereas a lot of people may not agree about Lori Lightfoot, but Lori Lightfoot only spent $8,000 her whole term for her appearance. Because Brandon Johnson says appearance is everything. And when he has to come out the house and he has to look good and appear good. So appearance is everything. Since appearance is everything, how about the appearance of the city of Chicago? Because Chicago had something called the spot shotter. If you don't know what it is, let me pull up the website and show you what it is. Let me pull it up for you. Now, this is the spot shotter, okay? As you can see on my screen, I'm going to go ahead and scroll so we can look at it together. Now, Brandon Johnson says that it's just allegedly, to his words, because he likes to, go back on things he said, that it's just a walkie-talkie on a stick. However, the spot shotter saves lives. Why? Because Chicago is a metropolitan city, and we don't call the police here. It's so wide known that you can hear gunshots that people do not call the police. They do not call them. So Shot Spotter came into existence so that if a gunshot rang out, the police would be able to get to that area where the gunshots are. And if there's a possible victim or even the assailant, they're able to catch them or either help the victim. Okay. That was the reasoning behind spot shotter. Okay. And Chicago never really had to look at the demographics of spot shotter because it spoke for itself. It's a spot shotter. It spots shots. That's what it does. And as you can see on the screen, it talks about violence in America. Cities is a devastating epidemic. And it takes more than 65,000 individuals and injured several hundred thousands in just the last 5 years. What's more devastating is 80% of fire incidents are never reported to the police. So it's telling you that when people hear gunshots, they do not call the police. They do not. They just don't. It doesn't matter what demographic, as you can see here in America's, people do not call the police. Either some people may not hear it, or some people may think someone else is going to call, or some people, have the state of mind that it has nothing to do with me, so I'm going to stay out of it. That type of fight or flight feeling. Criminals are evolving, so we evolve to be proactive against gun violence with spot shotter. It's like a digitalized 911 call for shots. That's faster and more accurate than our 50-plus-year-old emergency call system. To make sure your agency knows about all the fires, I'm being very specific with words, and can respond immediately to help save lives. Now, this is what spot shotter is. It tells you exactly what it is. So I wouldn't exactly call it a walkie-talkie on a stick, especially when you have the family of Sierra Evans. Yeah, a 19-year-old girl who just passed and was left outside for numerous hours undiscovered. And it was in the same area where Spot Shatter was. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, if Spot Shatter would have been still up and in that area, maybe Sierra Evans would have had a chance to fight. Maybe she could have got help in time, because it's telling you when a shot is fired, it goes, emergency calls go out, and they go to where that fire is coming from. And that's how it works. It speaks for itself. See, victim transport. Victim transport. It's telling you that if someone is hurt due to this situation, that we can get them to have emergency help more quickly with this system. It speaks for itself. Just like Chicago Police Department and the other 33 aldermen in Chicago that voted to keep it, thought that we would never have to debate about it. It speaks for itself. It does what it says it does. So I wouldn't necessarily call it a walkie-talkie on a stick. Excuse me, I really wouldn't. Just saying, I wouldn't. So we have to look at that statistic, okay? And let's not forget, the Democratic National Convention was in Chicago here, and that was a disaster. It was a disaster. It really was. It was it was terrible. It cut off traffic. Traffic was cut off for people for 2 blocks away from their homes. Do you and let's not think about the violence that we already have here. So people have to leave their cars 2 to 3, 4 blocks away, have to walk a half a mile back, hopefully not get harmed, back and forth to their vehicles, and let's hope that their vehicle is still there or not damaged. Because let's not forget, there was the craze that was going around where teenagers would gather downtown and they would be very destructive. They would fight people, hit tourists, hit people, just walk up and hit them, damage vehicles. And again, at that time, Mayor Brandon Johnson said, they're just children. Don't demonize our youth. But it's this the same youth that took the life of Larry Nelson. And if you don't know who Larry Nelson was, he was a very esteemed, outspoken pastor. And also, he was one of the first Black men to be a bomb technician here. I worked with him at TSA. Very nice man. When I was working there. Very nice. So again, his life was taken by 16 and 17-year-old children that already, one of them was already on a home monitor where he was supposed to be at home. Violence is overpowering the area and nothing is being done. Nothing. And the defenses that the city do have, the mayor strips them of it and says it's a waste of money. But yet you spend $30,000 on your appearances, and then you also spend what, $80,000 on your wife's office to be redone. That's insanity. That's crazy. And let's not forget, There's a whole thing with school board. The whole board resigned. They resigned. And so now, allegedly, Brandon Johnson has appointed new people. And it's insanity. It's clearly insanity. It's insanity. And if you don't believe it, why don't we take a quick look here? Now, this is how much he spends on his hair. And this is all true. Because he said appearance matters the most. Mayor Johnson is, and this was done by WBEZ Chicago. You can go and sign up with them. It's free. And you can also listen live and donate. However, in 1 year, Brandon Johnson's campaign has spent $30,000 on hair and makeup. So you're spending $30,000 to get petted with a foundation application or puff that I can literally get from the Dollar Tree for $1.25. I think like $1.37 or something with taxes, or $1.34 or something with taxes. And that cost $4,000 leading up to $30K. Are you serious? And that's money and resources that could have been put into the city, into equipment for the police, to police. His finance $4,000 payments to a beauty salon was for event expenses. I'd love an extra $4,000, but we never got any money from them. Jones says nobody from the campaign has ever been in my salon. Hearing that came as a surprise, as Anthony Jones, who owns the Anthony Jones Salon in the northwest suburb, says he never got that money, nor has he ever done any work for the Johnson or his campaign. When asked, Johnson's campaign advisor, Bill Nehart, said the report was a mistake. The vendor that does our expense report, we gave them the name of the business for the disclosure of filing the Illinois State Board of Elections. They wrote down the wrong one. The report should have shown the money was spent at AJ Styles Barber and Beauty Salon at this address, according to Nehart, who says that the mayor's campaign filing will be amended. Anyone who knows Brandon won't be surprised he goes to the barbershop on the west side. But some might be surprised that the mayor spends on his personal grooming, for which he pays the money contributed by political supporters to his Friends of Brandon Johnson campaign fund, more than $30,000 in the past year. So I'm guessing he's assuming that, well, since it was donated to him, that he could spend it on his appearances. Includes candidates makeup for TV debate, candidate bait, makeup retainer. It's insanity. And they've printed out hair and makeup services are commonplace among high-ranking officials. We get that. But $700, $4,400, $675, $700 for makeup? For makeup. For makeup. Are you for real? Like, I have an Ipsy subscription. Like, I'm about to be doing my Ipsy videos, dropping those real soon. Like, that's only like $30 a month. It don't add up to no 30,000. He says he's married 24/7 and his appearance matter. Well, my question is, what about the appearance of Chicago? What about the citizens of Chicago? What about the people of Chicago? Shouldn't people of Chicago feel safe? Shouldn't people of Chicago know that if something happens, that help will come? How long did this young girl not survive? Because there was no spotter there. And let me go ahead and pull it up. Let's get it. Now, this young girl, Sierra Evans, was 19, and she was unalived on Saturday in the 9500 block of South Avenue North in city's East Side neighborhood. The 17th Alderman David Moore said officers responded when a neighbor called 911 at 9 a.m. However, that was hours after the incident actually happened. What saddens me is that this young lady had to, number one, pass along. Number two, possibly could have gotten some help, some immediate help, and possibly could have survived, Moore says, and possibly could have had enough evidence or captured the person that had done this so we can bring justice. Now, again, like I told you, Spot Shotter was deactivated on September 23rd, days before Evans' death. The city said it's looking for alternative gunshot detective technology. Why would you take away what they already had? If you had nothing to put in that place, then this young lady could have saved. She could have lived. She could have lived. Or like they said, at least call her assailant. At least had a chance at survival. At least. At least. Why not? Why wasn't she able to have a chance? Oh, because he took the detector down because it's a walkie-talkie with a stick. What is wrong here? And again, he only kept it up until after the Democratic National Convention. Once the DNC left, that's when it was made to come down. And on the last night of the DNC, y'all be thinking I be lying when I be saying that it was maggots in their food. It really was. Somebody snuck in and put it in their food. It was some women, and they was looking for them, and I think they caught them, but it was women that did it. Let me play the clip. Hold on, I have to play a little music with this. I ain't trying to get no situations going here. But you'll still be able to hear. You have to, so I won't get a situation. So you have this. Now, this happened again at the DNC breakfast at Fairmont Hotel, disrupted with maggot, sources say. CPD and FBI investigating.
ABC7, it was maggots that were slipped into food during a DNC breakfast this morning.
Earlier today, a DNC spokesperson telling us multiple women put unknown objects onto tables with food at the Fairmont Hotel. We have just learned from a source those objects were maggots. One person was treated at the scene but was not seriously hurt. Both Chicago police and the FBI are involved in the investigation.
Watch Break.
What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? It was maggots in their food. Some women snuck in and put it in their food. Now, you're supposed to have top security there because you have all these people from around the country, around the world, especially around the world that's watching. There was no way anyone should have been able to snuck in and did anything. But when you take things away from law enforcement that they need, that can save lives and that can possibly stop certain situations from happening, we're going to have increase in situations like these. And when I say increase, there have been numerous people that have been unalived and just found because no one called the police. And if that spotter would have been there, it would have gotten people help in time. Or at least gave them a fighting chance. Give people a fighting chance. But instead of spending that money on things of that nature, this is what you want to spend money on. This is what you want to spend money on. You renovated the First Lady's office after the city faced a $1 billion budget shortfall. There are $1 billion in the hole. And you're literally have raised new questions, extravagant spending as the city faces a nearly $1 billion budget shortfall. Documents uncovered by local news nation NBC5 revealed that the grip of a fiscal crisis, the city spent more than $80,000 to redecorate and renovate an office in the Chicago Cultural Center for the First Lady Stacey Johnson. The invoice and receipts obtained by NBC5 investigates through a series of Freedom of Information Act requests. Showed that work orders requests begin in February and continue through August of this year to renovate and redecorate room 306 of the Chicago Cultural Center. $80,000? Electricians, carpenters, and painters on the city's payroll were contracted for work according to an invoice from the city's Fleet and Faculty Management Department, also called 2FM. NBC5 reported. The workers accrued more than 350 hours of labor at a cost of over $25,000. But this is what this man says: appearance is everything. How does it look? You paying all this money for your wife's office at a cultural center, and we have kids that are literally dying on the streets, that are literally passing away on the streets. Are you for real? For real? Another invoice reportedly shows the city paid more than $43,000 for furniture, including a 2,200 office chair and a 4,400 desk labeled First Lady's Desk on the documents. The city spent another $4,600 on a desk for a staffer and spent more than $8,300 on 2 club chairs, according to the outlet. See, they be thinking that they can't figure out what they be buying and spending, but yes, they can. Just like Tiffany Henyard. How you spend $44,000 on Amazon in one day? $44,000 on Amazon in one day. Look, I'm telling you, if the FBI, they is gonna figure her little butt out too on everything. I got one coming for her too, but yeah, they're gonna get her too. The mayor pushed back against follow-up questions about the optics of excessive spending at the time when his administration considered layoffs of city workers to cut costs. Now, this man says appearance is everything, but he's laying off workers to cut costs, but you just spent $80,000 on your wife's office, the First Lady's desk. All that for a chair? Again, Walmart got some bomb ass chairs on everything I love. Got some bomb ass chairs that you can get, and they comfortable as fuck. Trust me, my ass is sitting on one. That's how I know. And I think I only paid $44 for it. Like, what the hell? The purchase on the desk is not going to change the financial structure damage that has been placed for a very long time. So this is why we ask, and I mean this respectfully, we ask for more profound questions than that. I have a profound question. Why did you not have something implemented as soon as you allowed Spot Shotter to leave? Why did you not have something implemented immediately? And I mean immediately. No sooner that Spot Shotter went down, you had Taser Tot or something up there that will listen and give out locations when someone needs help. And again, the whole city board, this little school board, they all resigned. Everybody resigned. They stepped down because he wants to put more money into the school board. But again, we need more things, and there is no money to put. It's like you're trying to squeeze blood from a turnip. You ain't gonna get it. We don't have anything else. So I've been mayor for 17 months, and you have the question about how I feel about optics. So in 17 months, $80,000 on your wife's accessories, $30,000. I apologize, $30,000 on your appearance. That's what, $120,000, $110,000. Are you serious? Are you for real? That money could have been put into the school, but that money could have been put into technology to help make the city great again. And you say Chicago is the greatest city in the world. Everyone is looking at us. They do not think we are great. They think we are terrible. Johnson still has not, and you still ain't put forth a plan to project the 982 million budget gap. That's how much we in the hole. And you sitting up here playing. They go to the board meeting, the city council meetings. He do not listen to the people. They do not respect the people. They walk around. I remember when they had city council meetings back in the day, and people was out there talking. Everybody did not move. They sat their ass down there and moved. They get up, they move. He stands with his hands in the pocket, like he's just having a wonderful day at the park. It's so disrespectful. It's so disrespectful. It is. How would you feel if you're trying to have a very heartfelt conversation with someone about something that's really, really, really devastating to you, and they're sitting there saying, "Tweedledee, tweedledum, tweedledee, tweedledum, what the fuck? I'm really trying to talk to you about something, and you're sitting up here in La La Land." That's disrespectful. And these are the same people that pay the taxes, that pay your bills, that you're getting this money from. And people are, quote unquote, donating. But again, you're not helping the same community. It's terrible. And then what I don't like about it is the race card. It is not Black Chicago. Chicago is a multitude of diversities. You have Black, you have white, you have Hispanic, you have Lithuanian, you have Polish, you have Muslim, you have different types of ethnic people in Chicago. Chicago is not all Black. And he gets on the stage and does the rhetoric of Black Chicago. Well, I'm a Black man and I have a Black wife. Well, I think we all can see that you Black. Like we can see that. Like we can see that with both our eyes. Like I think even Ray Charles can see that. We can see that you're Black. That's besides the point. You're supposed to take care of all of Chicago. You're supposed to take care of everything in Chicago. You're supposed to represent the whole of Chicago. There is no Black Chicago. It's just Chicago. It's just Chicago. That's it. That's all. You have the north side, south side, west side, and southeast. You know, if you from out south, you from out here, you know what I'm saying. East is in the water, but you know what I'm saying. When you say out east, you know what we talking. But again, what are you doing to stop the conflict with the violence? And then there's such a heavy violence with migrants here. It really is. I can say honestly, yes, my family was inflicted by violence. Unprovoked. Again, what are you doing? That person wouldn't, he'll never be caught. They're not going to catch him. Why? Because he has no identity. He has no identity. And she's not the only one that's hurt. It's other people that are hurt, lost their lives, that have been traumatized by situations that happened in Chicago that did not have to happen, because it's like a lawless land now. When will that change? That's my question. When will there be a difference for that? And there is no difference. When will you really take care of Chicago? Just Chicago. Again, just Chicago. It's supposed to be a multitude of diverse. You're supposed to take care of Chicago. And again, it's just going down. You had 33 aldermen that voted to keep the spot shotter. 33 that wanted to, that said, well, just keep it in our neighborhoods. And he still said no. But you did not come up with an alternative plan. That's just like saying, you know what? I'm about to spend the gas bill money today, and we'll worry about that later. Why the fuck would you spend the gas money bill, and you know you need that to keep the gas on? You know it's about to be winter time. It's about to be a little crispy out there. Why would you spend the gas money knowing that we need to keep the heat on in the house? Oh, well, because I'll get the money from here and they'll just keep it on. And now you're incurring a bigger bill. So now it's going to be harder to pay. So now when they come knocking on the door to collect, where are you going to get the money from, the resource? Because you haven't even come up with a plan to replace that money for the gas money. It would be something different. You say, well, you know what? I'm gonna spend the gas money today because you know what, baby? I get paid Friday and I'll have it and we can pay for it then. Okay, you have a game plan. You came in here blazing with no game plan. Where's your game plan? And it's so sad. It's really, really sad, because Chicago is, again, a beautiful place, but it's so plagued with violence that all the stores are closing in downtown Chicago. Why? Because they're tired of smash and grab. They're tired of stealing. They're tired of disrespect. They're tired of just the looting. They're tired. And people have it there in mind that, oh, well, it's insured. Yeah, it's insured. But however, when insurance goes up for them, that means they have to go up on prices for us or in that area, because the insurance just went up, because now it's considered a high risk. And that's what anybody that has insurance on their car, if you have an accident, knock on wood, and you have occurred a numerous amount of accidents and such in so many times, guess what? Your insurance is going to be high as fuck. Why is it going to be high? Because you're considered a hazard. You're considered a safety risk. It will also come to a place where no one will insure you, because why are we insuring you? And no soon you make one payment, we have to come in and pay you because something has happened. So it doesn't make sense for me to pay most of my money in insurance, and then the taxes is high, and I'm not getting anything back in return. It makes no sense. So a lot of stores are leaving downtown Chicago. They are picking up and leaving. picking up and leaving. It's just so much to digest that I would have to do another podcast to tell you how much this mayor has damaged Chicago, in my opinion. It is damaged. And I feel so sorry for the next mayor that comes in. I really do. I feel so sorry for them because they're going to have to try to fix the issues that he has messed up for the city. And I'm sure he will blame the taking down on spot shot on someone else, but all this happened on your watch. So you have to understand that. So it's just sad. It really, really is. And it needs to be a change. It really does. And not a change in his haircut or his suit or his foundation that he's wearing or powder or his wife's desk or the furniture. No, a real change that where a mayor is actually looking out for the whole Chicago, not just quote unquote black Chicago, because the black people in Chicago make a very small population. It's very small. It's not as big as you think. It should be all Chicago. You have a multiple diversity of Chicago. It is not just black. It's all different races, variety, colors. It's different. So if it's different, why just say one color? That's using that race card that's unprovoked. Why are you using that? You don't need to use it for what? So that's what we need to digest. And we need to get into this more and have more conversations about this because we as a people, we don't have these conversations. We really, really don't. And we need to start having them more because the more we don't, the more we're going to fall for things like this. And it's sad. It's really, really sad. It's sad because a lot more people are going to lose or be harmed due to this slight technology that he calls a walkie-talkie on the stick. But that walkie-talkie on the stick could have saved lives. So let's think about that. I want to thank you for listening. This is the end of our podcast. I am Mayday Mayhaim. And if you like this, please like and subscribe and share. Tell your friends, tell your mama, your cousin, your brother, your auntie, everybody. Just tell them all. Just like, hey, y'all, let's listen to Mayday Mayhaim podcast. But yes, and I'm streaming on all platforms. So if you didn't get a chance to listen to it here, you can listen to it on Amazon. You can listen to it on any streaming platform. Like it will pop up. Trust me, I'm going to pop up. I'm everywhere now, like everywhere. So again, I want to thank you. Again, if no one told you they love you, I do. I truly, truly do. Make sure you do better today than you did yesterday and strive for a better tomorrow today. And again, everyone stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. And most importantly, be yourself and don't let nobody change you. You know, I like to end with something real nice. You know what I'm saying? But yes, and I will be having more videos coming out soon about my Ipsy and scentbox. Yes, I've been scentboxing for a while and I really do like it. So we will be I'm putting out videos about that where you can see the makeup and see the scent box and I can tell you what they smell like. And let's not forget my webpage, www.maydaymayhaim.com, where I talk about your cannabis needs and your beauty desires. So please join me there. And everyone stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. And I will see you guys next time. And I'm out.
Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem. Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem. Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem, Mayday, Mayhem. Mayday, mayhem, mayday, mayhem, mayday,